are on the eve of the legal tampering period for NFL free agency in 2024. Starting on Monday, teams can talk with players and come to agreements on deals with free agents, and that, of course, includes the Washington Commanders. So today, I'm going to be going over my ideal plan and what that looks like for the Washington Commanders heading into free agency here in 2024 in the first year of the Dan Quinn era. But before we get into my ideal, my perfect Washington Commanders free agency plan, make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now, because tomorrow we are going to be having wall-to-wall coverage of the Washington Commanders free agency this year. Every player that they agree to terms with tomorrow, we are going to be covering right here on the channel. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button for the most extensive Washington Commanders coverage here on YouTube, 100% free. So let's start with the cap space here for the Washington Commanders, where they have the most in the National Football League, heading into free agency this year with just over $96 million to spend. That's a lot of cheddar. So without further ado, let's get into my perfect free agency plan, starting with the edge rusher. You traded away both of your starting edge rushers last year at the trade deadline. You have a lot of money to spend on a number one edge rusher, and Danielle Hunter fits the bill here. I believe it's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 3 years and about $25 million per season. Could even get to more than that, because Danielle Hunter had one hell of a season last year, and he is going to be considered the number one edge rusher on the free agent market this year. There's going to be a ton of suitors trying to vie for his services, but I think the Commanders can win out because, like I said, they have the most money to spend in free agency this year. 16.5 sacks last year, 23 tackles for loss, and 4 forced fumbles. He's a big-time impact player, and that's exactly what the Washington Commanders need on their defense right now. So give me Danielle Hunter. I think this is going to be the big splash that the Washington Commanders make tomorrow. Then we get Josh Uche to put on the other side of him and be the second edge rusher of this unit here. So you replace Montez Sweat and Chase Young, and you bring in Danielle Hunter and Josh Uche for the future here. A one-year contract, $7.25 million to be the number 2 option on the edge. And listen, Josh Uche, really liked the player, man. He had a kind of an off year last year with the New England Patriots, but the year prior, super productive. The way that he likes to win on the edge is that he's a pure speed rusher. He likes to win with pure athleticism and speed and bend around the corner to get to quarterbacks, and that's a great compliment to the power and finesse of Danielle Hunter's game. So Josh would be pushing the pocket, forcing quarterbacks to step up, and then Danielle Hunter would be winning with power and finesse to clean up those sacks. I think this is a perfect pairing between number 1 and number 2 edge rushers, and I like the contract value here of $7.25 million for somebody that's still a really young player and a super good athlete here in Josh Uche. Then we take care of the left tackle position here with Tyron Smith. Yes, he's 33 years old, and the Commanders are a rebuilding football team, but he has the connection with Dan Quinn. I think that Tyron is going to get convinced by the former DC there in Dallas that this is going to be a very quick turnaround here in Washington with a new quarterback coming in, very talented quarterback, whether that be Drake May or Jaden Daniels, or who knows, even trading up for Caleb Williams. A one-year contract, $10 million to see if this is an organization that he would like to play with. I think this would be a really good deal. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Smith signs a multi-year deal here in Washington as well, but the projected right now is a one-year contract. And speaking of poaching Cowboys here, let's get another one here, and Stephon Gilmore to be probably the number 1 cornerback in Dan Quinn's defense here in 2024. Emmanuel Forbes is hoping to become a number 1 type corner in this league. I have a lot of belief in him in this system with Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. as the defensive play caller. Gilmore is the type of savvy veteran that would be perfect as a mentor for Emmanuel Forbes. And then also, Gilmore has played really, really well over the last several seasons in the National Football League. He can still play, and he can be an excellent mentor here in Emmanuel Forbes' second season. Another one-year, $10 million contract. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you are excited for free agency. The Commanders have the most cap space. It looks like they might be going on a spending spree. And I think the new GM, Adam Peters, is really going to try to make his mark this year. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you appreciate all the work that we do for you right here on the Commanders Report. Then we will take care of center here with one of my favorite center free agents this year, one of my favorite centers, period, in the National Football League, and it's Lloyd Cushenberry, formerly with the Denver Broncos. And what Cushenberry does really well is pass protection, all right? He's not the best in terms of run blocking, okay, but he's not terrible in that regard. And this is going to be a very pass-heavy offense here with Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator, bringing in a talented quarterback. It's going to be a spread system. You need your center here to go up one-on-one against defensive tackles, and Lloyd Cushenberry does that better than just about anybody in football here. I do like the contract value here, $8.5 million per season over 3 years. I think this is a match made in heaven, and I want to lock up Lloyd Cushenberry for the long term here in the nation's capital. Then we go to the other interior offensive line spot that the Commanders need to address this offseason, and that's Jon Feliciano. 1-year contract, $2 million is his projected contract. And when I saw Pro Football Focus say you could get a top 5 graded guard in the National Football League last year for a $2 million contract, I said, bet, say less. Put Jon Feliciano in a Commanders uniform. I absolutely love that fit, and I think it would be an absolute steal to get Feliciano at a 2-year contract. Then we'll go to safety here with Julian Blackmon, 2-year contract, $5.75 million per season. The fact that they let Cameron Curl go without re-signing him or franchise tagging him means that the Commanders likely don't want to spend big bucks at the safety position. This is a good value, strong safety in Julian Blackmon, who has played free safety and nickel cornerback in his career before, but his specialty is playing in the box as a strong safety. That's what he'd be doing in this defense. And really, man, the Commanders have some depth at safety with Derek Forrest and Percy Butler and Quan Martin, but Julian Blackmon would be that true strong safety. He would really be the only guy in the room with the size to play in the box. So that's why I like him here to Washington. And then something that Dan Quinn Jr. and Joe Witt Jr. really like to do is blitz linebackers. And Blake Cashman, in my opinion, might be the best blitzing linebacker in free agency this year, with some possible exceptions being Bobby Wagner, Devin White, and Patrick Queen, the guys at the very top of the talent pool. I think Cashman's more of a value pickup here for $4.25 million per season over the next 2 years. I think he'd fit in beautifully next to Jamin Davis on this defense, and he's perfect for the simulated pressure packages that Joe Witt Jr. is going to be bringing to the nation's capital. So here's my free agency haul here. You might notice that there's no wide receivers. It's definitely possible that they pick up like a bigger receiver, like an Amir Smith-Marseters, or not Westbrook Akine, potentially, maybe a bigger wide receiver. But at the end of the day, man, you got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, De'Ami Brown, and Mitchell Tinsley. Those are 4 pretty decent wide receivers, and I do think they'll go get one in the draft. So wouldn't surprise me if they get a wide receiver here, but these are the 8 positions I think you absolutely need to address. I like Danielle Hunter and Josh Uche as a potential pairing at edge rusher, Tyron Smith as a left tackle, Stephon Gilmore as a 1-year rental to mentor Emmanuel Forbes and also lock down one side of the defense, Lloyd Cushenberry as your future center. I think he's a perfect fit for this system. Jon Feliciano, a top 5 graded guard last year. Get him for $2 million. Julian Blackmon and Blake Cashman to fill out the middle of Dan Quinn's defense here in year 1. So what'd you guys think? Let me know down there in the comment section. Grade my free agency plan for the Washington Commanders. Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F down there in the comment section to let me know what you think. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button because we're going to be recapping everything that happens tomorrow, all the players that they sign, contract details, how they will fit into the offensive or defensive scheme that they're going to be entering here in Washington. It's going to be a very exciting day for Washington Commanders fans all across the world. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now and join us for our free agency coverage.